Western Canada is the focus of many projects aimed at ramping up the Canadian economy as we head into this new year. From a potential pipeline to the Pacific to the expansion of the Port of Churchill. Paying close attention to these plans will be at the helm of Western Canada Economic Forum when it kicks off next month. Alex Fallon is the forum's founder, and he is joining us from Saskatoon this morning with more on the increasing importance of the West in our economic recovery. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you join us. Listen, why does Western Canada need its own economic forum?
Yeah, I think the forum came about as an opportunity to really focus on showcasing the strength of the Western Canadian economy. So it focuses on all sectors: oil, energy, gas, and mining. So it's really an opportunity to get together, talk about specific challenges and opportunities for the West.
Yeah, and we've sort of headlined them here for people. We've got a pipeline deal in energy in Alberta, tariffs in Saskatchewan, and Manitoba's Port of Churchill. But I want to start with Alberta. Prime Minister Carney signed this recent deal with the Alberta Premier, Daniel Smith, to exempt any pipeline built to the Pacific from certain environmental protections, like an emissions cap or certain clean electricity regulations. And Alberta, we know, has long been calling for such exemptions. So how far do they go in addressing the province's real concerns?
Yeah, I think, the MOU was certainly a first step. I think this whole project is a marathon, not a sprint. And of course, when you're doing a marathon, you've got to start somewhere. And I think the MOU was really about that. Obviously, a lot of challenges, hurdles remain in terms of Indigenous participation, ownership, obviously industry investment. So I think, yeah, good start, shows some good intention, and it's going to be a long initiative, but somewhere to start and hopefully more progress to come in the next year.
Let's turn our attention to Manitoba. They could become a new gateway for trade and exports if the Port of Churchill is expanded. But that project did not make Carney's first list of major projects of what he calls national importance. So how do you want to see the situation unfold at that port?
Yeah, not yet, but hopefully that is to come. And I think when you look at Manitoba, in terms of the timing, they have just released a new economic growth strategy, which talks about Manitoba becoming a have province. And obviously that project is so critical to that happening that I hope to see that advance. We'll certainly be talking about it at the forum with organizations like the Arctic Gateway Group. And, I think it's really one of those projects which has watched this space for 2026.
Let's talk about Saskatchewan. They have really withstood, heavy tariffs from various trade disputes. It measures canola tariffs from China, potash tariffs from the U.S., and yellow pea tariffs from India. What should its strategy for diversification look like?
Yeah, I think the government of Saskatchewan as a whole has, already started that strategy of diversifying their trade markets. We've seen over the last couple of years, they've really ramped up their international engagement strategy, new offices around the world in Asia and other places. And of course, such a wealth of different resources. We've gone from the breadbasket of the world to more like a global grocery store, I would say. It's lentils, wheat, and peas, and then you've got the minerals, uranium and potash. So absolutely challenges, but a lot of strength in Saskatchewan in terms of those variety of commodities, the international engagement strategy. And, again, it's all about addressing these challenges, looking for the opportunities, and continuing to grow in the year ahead.
Alex, I was raised out west. I started my career out west, and we spent a lot of time in the prairies during this past election. Western alienation was a real thing, and there are parts of Western Canada that have long felt alienated from the priorities of Ottawa. With Carney now pursuing these projects, does the West feel heard?
Yeah, I think it's a start in terms of being heard. Western alienation, always a hot topic. There's a recent report by the Centre of Excellence on the Canadian Federation a few months ago that looked at kind of what they call the resentment index. And that was interesting because it showed the overall resentment index slightly dropped. But of course, what is important is where that resentment is and to what extent. And certainly in the prairies in the West, it's higher than elsewhere. But I think, again, things like the MOU, it's a start. Voices are being heard, and then it's all about action and progress next year.
Yes, steps 2 and 3, action and progress. That's what we'll be watching for. Founder of the Western Canada Economic Forum, Alex Fallon, great to meet you. Thanks for coming on this morning.
Thanks for having me.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.